Hi, welcome back everybody to another video on the Grade My Finance channel. I kind of want to do just a full walkthrough of the website, all the cool features inside of it, and just some of the things that we got inside. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of walk through with you guys here, and hope you guys enjoy. So for starters, we're gonna start on the home screen here and just go through the page before we dive into the calculator, the dashboard. Just kind of look at all the details within Grid My Finance. So just to go from top to bottom here, one of the cool things is the live counter at the top. So we see exactly how many report cards have been graded on the websites. We're a little over 1,000 right now, which we've been launched for about 3 weeks. So that's an awesome goal to kind of hit. And as we scroll through, we kind of describe a lot of the aspects of the app. So the initial calculator is completely free. Anybody can use it. You can plug in your own numbers and get your financial grade to see where you stand. So I think it's super helpful, just for the average person to, again, just kind of see how you're doing. Whether you're an A, B, C, D, and F, what do you need to improve on? At least gives you a good general idea. So again, you can compare your progress, get your plan, do all your tracking, everything. And as you scroll through here, this will be kind of just a teaser for what the dashboard is like for anybody who wants to go on to the pro version, which we'll dive through everything in this video so you can kind of see it. And I am adding things every single day. This is going to be a long build, which I'm excited to keep expanding and thinking outside the box and keep making it better. So these are the different versions here. Pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, you get the free one, which is you can get your grade no matter what. Plug in your numbers, and then there's the monthly for the pro, and then the yearly. Obviously, the yearly being a little cheaper throughout the 12 months there. Yeah, there's also the Discord community. There's a bunch of blogs, which are a ton of good financial resources. Net worth by age, emergency fund. Are you doing financially well? And then a lot of other fun articles. So yeah, as we scroll back to the top here, we will dive into the calculator. So for fun, we're just gonna make up a bunch of numbers here. So let's go age 35, monthly household income. We'll go 5645. Monthly expenses. Let's say they spend 3845 a month. Assets, let's say they do own a home worth 325,000. Let's say they're doing pretty well in retirement, 115,000 packed away. Brokerage account, let's say they have 25,000 in there. Their HSA is doing great. Let's say 16,500. 20 grand in cash. Let's say they have 8,900 in Ethereum, and they have a $34,000 car. So a lot of assets you see totaling over $500,000, 544,400. And now we move on to the debt. So let's say they owe 185,000 on the house. Student loans are almost paid off. We'll go $5,000 left. On the car, we'll say they owe 6,000, and for credit cards, they have $700 with no other personal loan debt. So let's see what grade they get. So they're at a B minus, which is great. And we initially see good savings rate being their biggest strength. 32% of their take home is saved there. And next recommended action is to build up that emergency fund to 6 months, as we always want to see as a minimum. So now we go into the dashboard, which this is, again, for the pro members. They'll have access to everything here. And there's a bunch of cool breakdowns in here, which we're going to kind of go through. So the first screen here being the dashboard, we see their grade, and out of 100 with a B minus, 81 out of 100. We can go to their grade history, so we can see how they've been progressing or regressing throughout all the scores. We see at a glance their net worth is 347,700. Their cash flow per month is positive 1,800. How long of runway they have on their emergency fund, which is 5.2 months, and their total debt load, which is 196,700. As we scroll down, we can see their portfolio mix. We see a big chunk of that, 68%, is in their retirement. The brokerage is 15%, being 25,000. 12,000 is in cash, and 5% is the crypto, being 9,000. And for their income versus expenses, their monthly picture, we see a large chunk of that being income, their expenses, and their monthly margin being $2,000. And these are some stats here. If you have done multiple report cards, you can see the checks for your financial grade, net worth, cash flow, how those kind of fluctuate up and down, and then we see some other breakdowns on the charts here. So the next tab that we're going to go to is the money tab. So this is where a lot of things are kept: net worth, accounts, money flow, bills, credit, allocation, and budget, which we can kind of see the breakdown of everything here. So this will be the net worth chart over time, which if you keep coming back for updates, that will be hopefully slowly going up over time, which you could see. And these are where all the logs are going to be. As you can kind of see, I play with a bunch of numbers here, so those are all just random numbers, but you can reset it all and kind of climb. For the accounts, this is where you can log your accounts and different categories: cash savings, retirement, brokerage, the institution, the balance, and you can keep track of everything there, just like if you want to see it all on one page in front of you. And then once you save it here, you can also save it to update your net worth, which also makes it a little easier. And my favorite part of this whole dashboard is the money flow. I absolutely love these charts. I think they're awesome. So we can see for the assets for the individuals we just plugged in, we see a lot of 60% of it is going to the house. We see 21% is in their retirement, their brokers, their cash, crypto, their HSA, and their car. So we can see the exact breakdown of where everything's going and flowing. And we see down here the income, the total expenses, and their net income per month. For liabilities, we see their total debt being $196,700, and then we see the mortgage up here being 94% of all their debt. Most of it is looking pretty good. A little bit of student loans, small auto loan, small credit cards. So in comparison to their total debt load. So next up is going to be the income and savings, which we see the monthly income is $5,645 a month, and that breaks into the savings surplus and the expenses per month. 68% of that being the expenses, and 32% of that being in the savings and surplus. Next is going to be the net worth trend, which we can see they're on a linear projection, assuming they invest $1,800 a month, invested at 7% for the annual return. So next, we're going to go into the bills, credit, allocation, and budget, which for the bills, this is where you can add any bills and subscriptions that you want to do. You can either do mortgage, phone bill, Netflix, stuff like that, student loan, auto loan, credit card, monthly amount, and then for an example, we'll go student loan. Sorry, we'll go car to the auto loan. Monthly amount, say $500, due on the 15th. And then we can track it there, how much it is, and then the debt payments linked. So as you keep doing these, now we go phone, maybe other recurring bill, monthly amount, we do 150, and we'll say it's doing the first. So as you can see, it's the easy way to kind of track it, how much it is per month, and you can kind of edit it from there. So the credit tab, this basically just shows your credit utilization. As you can see, these numbers you can kind of play with because nothing we have put in so far is going to tack on to this section. So total available credit being $2,300. You have a hypothetical pay down of how much extra you want to do, and then this kind of scores your total credit utilization here, which they also have credit mix, new credit, length of credit history. So some interesting stuff there. People who like to use credit card, stuff like that. Allocation, this just shows where your money is sitting, how much liquid cash you have, your investable assets, and your crypto exposure from your entire portfolio. And then last is just the budget. This is very simple budget. So you can add how much you want per month, add the expenses. It helps you kind of keep track of being within your budget or if you're over budget and stuff like that. It's easy to have a visual like this, which is nice to have that written budget every month. So as we get on to goals, so the next tab here, goals are just stuff that you want to achieve, whether it's building your emergency fund, your net worth, raising your overall score, and then you set your target, and you add your goal. So if we go overall score, let's say you want to be at 100 on A+, you will start to track that there. Or let's say you want your emergency fund, we would also build that. So you want that to be 10 months. So you have the goal here, and it shows how close you are then. That'll obviously build on as you update your dashboard. Next is going to be the plan. So this is going to be different opportunities, whether it's a debt plan, different scenarios, projections. So these are ways they can kind of track and pay off your credit card or student loans, and it will show how long it's going to take for each one. And you can adjust the interest rates, show if you make additional payments, and it will tell you exactly how long it's going to take, and then the interest on top of that. They also have the avalanche and snowball method, and then we have different what-if scenarios, projections. There's just net worth projections, life events. If you buy a home, have a kid, job loss, you can edit all that. And next is retirement. So this is a good calculator. It shows where you are now and where it's going to be when you want to retire and different expected annual returns. So if you're 35 years old, you want to retire at 60, you have 200,000 so far. You contribute 1,500 a month, and let's say your retirement spending is going to be 65,000 a year. Let's say annual is 7% inflation, which all rate, you can calculate it. So from 25 years, you can expect a portfolio to be at 2.2 million roughly, and with your financial independent target being at 1.6. So you can see the linear graph here, and then again you can adjust the expected annual returns to kind of go with the markets to see what that would look like and change. So this is just nice to show your retirement readiness, if you're on track to retire, how it looks, what it is going to look like, etc. And then next is investing. So from here, it's going to show your diversification score, where your money actually sits, and then it's going to show a lot of things, your percentages of your retirement, your brokerage, your crypto, your blended rates. There's a lot of good information in here. It shows the index funds, the charts, all that stuff. And then next is the grade report. So this will just show your grade and all the information corresponding with it. What went into your grade, how did they get it, the weights of each thing, such as the saving rate, emergency fund, debt load, net worth, income strength. You see they were on A+ for their savings, B+ for their emergency fund, C+ for their debt load, A+ for the net worth, and a B- for the income strength. And we kind of see, again, everything is logged here, and this is just a good front page for your essential report card, so you can kind of see everything. Last is insights, which this has some cool things in here. These are just going to show different benchmarks, a perspective, and a stress test from all your numbers. So one thing I wanted to highlight, which I love looking at, is the stress test. So this is cool to see. So for the numbers we ran, we can see if they lost their job, what would 6 months without income look like, how much it would change their net worth, what would their ending balance would be, right now how many months that they can cover expenses. If they had to increase their spending, by $1,500 a month, we could run that. And if the market did drop, 5%, or if they, again, adjusting these graphs here or these charts. So this is cool to see. If you are worried about losing your job, if you want to see how long you have to essentially survive and what it would look like with those other factors kind of coming into play. Again, fun things. We have the dark theme. Just kind of makes it easier on the eyes. Actually, should have been doing that from the start. I think it looks a little nicer. But yeah, like I said, this is a huge work in progress. I want to keep expanding, thinking outside the box, making sure we add more, just different scenarios so you have a full breakdown. I think it's a lot of fun to see all your numbers on these charts, look at all, making sure you are doing well, making sure you are on pace. There's a lot that goes into it. And I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys want to see anything added or you have any feedback here, I'm working on this again every day, and I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching this. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment. See us over in the Discord, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.